Banteay Samre, which means the Citadel of Samre, is a Hindu temple in the Angkor Wat style, located approximately 400 meters to the east of the East Baray in Preah Dak Commune, Banteay Srei district, Siem Reap, Kingdom of Cambodia. Built during the reign of King Suryavarman II in the 12th century and continued by Yasovarman II. Even though there are no inscriptions describing its foundation, scholars, historians, and archaeologists concluded, based on the architectural design and classic arts, that this gem was constructed by a high official of the court during the reign of King Suryavarman II to dedicate to Vishnu. Named after the Samre, an ancient ethnic group of people who lived in the area or came from the origin of the base of Gulen Mountain. The design of its single ogival tower is immediately recognizable as Angkor Wat style, along with other temples in the region such as Thomanun and Chausai Tevada. The proportions of Banteay Samre are splendid. Unique features are an interior moat with laterite paving, which must have given an ethereal atmosphere to the temple, and the use of stone finials across the central ridge of the roof. All of the buildings around the moat are on the raised base with horizontal mounding decorated in some areas with figures framed by lattice paths. While the path from the main road leads to the northern entrance of the temple, and most of visitors enter through the gopura on this side. The better experience is from the eastern entrance. Turn left and follow the high laterite wall of the outer northern enclosure to the corner. Then turn right and continue to the eastern entrance, where you can see the ruins of a stunning 200 meters pale laterite causeway. The causeway on two levels is bordered on each side by serpent balustrades in the style of Angkor Wat, of which only vestiges remain. The end of the causeway leads to a stairway flanked by crouching lions on short columns and the main raised cruciform sandstone terrace. Nagas balustrade and guardian lions on the steps recall the approach to Angkor Wat, while the cylindrical columns suggest that the terrace may have been added later in the 13th century. The base molding of this cruciform terrace is as ornate as the temple itself. These were flanked by two ponds, today hidden in the surrounding forest. Banteay Samre was built from sandstone and laterites. That you can see the outer wall of the enclosure is massive, 6 meters high and of laterite, giving it more the look of a fortification than of a gallery. The site is surrounded by an enclosure wall with entry gopuras at each cardinal point, after which you are met with a courtyard that may have acted as a moat. That is followed by the inner galleried enclosure. Inside, a causeway joins the enclosure to the hall or mandap leading to the main shrine. The main shrine is flanked on its eastern side by two stunningly ornate libraries. The inner base of the temple is of the laterites and platform extends from the base of the gallery, and this is lined with stone pillars, which would also have supported a tile roof, and the whole tower is of sandstone. The main tower of the temple is surrounded by two galleried enclosures of laterite, which the gopuras and entrances are of sandstone. Like Angkor Wat, Banteay Samre is approached by a long raised causeway leading to a cruciform terrace, probably later. The outer enclosure, with its high laterite wall, measures 83 times 77 meters, and the inner enclosure 44 times 38 meters. Both have gopuras at the cardinal point. The outer gopura, the first, is in a seriously collapsed condition, and it was believed to have a pale roof with wood supported because there are some holes on the wall as proof. The many pediments, half pediments, and lintels of the inner enclosures are usually deeply carved and amazingly decorated with myths of Hinduism and Buddhism. Enter the inner enclosure through its eastern gopura. Immediately, the relatively small size of the buildings and intact enclosure walls create an impression of compactness. The central unit of tower, Antarala and Mandapa is jammed into the enclosure, while the two libraries to your left and right are pressed right into the corners. The sense is accentuated by the height of all the buildings above the ground. The well-curved libraries are of sandstone, usually opening to the west, have two false doors to the east. The libraries have proportions with cylindrical vaulting, a false attic pierced with long windows and pediments. The decoration on the false doors is remarkably fine. On the north library facing western side, the birth of Brahma carried by a lotus, whose stems grows from Vishnu's navel as he reclines on a serpent. Inside the mandapa is a sandstone tomb with a lid on it, a small drain at the bottom, and a small hole in the middle of the lid pierced to release the gas from the coffin, or the communication between the dead and the alive, which may have been used as a sarcophagus. However, there is no evident proof to clarify this mysterious coffin, whether it was for adult or infant body, or for anyone exactly. The time, usage, and purpose of building this tomb remain mysterious. The single central sanctuary has a T-shape with a porch which has a double pediment on each side, opening to the cardinal points and three false doors that are finely decorated. The upper part of the sanctuary has four accessed tiles and ruminates in a top with a profile shaped like a letter's box. The reliefs on the upper levels of this Hindu sanctuary depicts Buddhist scenes. Inside the dark sanctuary, it was believed to have a statue of Vishnu or another deity stood there. However, we cannot see anything with our bare eyes due to the darkness. Turn back to the East Gopura. The three existing gopuras in sandstone and laterite are quite large. If you are interested in deep carving and iconography, make a circuit of these before entering the inner enclosure to view the deep relief pediments and half pediments, many of them depicting scenes from the Ramayana. Clockwise, on the south gopura facing north, the construction by the monkeys of the causeway involves. That is to enable them to attack the island of Lanka, and on the half fronton to the right, Vishnu holding an asura by the hair. On the south gopura facing south, Hanuman carries the summit of Mount Kaisala, whose magic plans will serve to revive them, to Rama and Lakshmana, who have been wounded by Indrajit. On the west gopura facing west, the ferocious battle between the monkeys and the Rakshasas, and on the eastern side, Vishnu overcoming two asuras, whom he is holding by the chinan with. On the half fronton to the right, a line of gods on their mounts, Vishnu with 4 arms on a lion, Skanda, the god of war, with 10 arms and multiple heads on a peacock, and Yama, the god of the dead, on a buffalo. North gopura facing north is the fight between Rama and Ravana, each mounted on his war chariot, surrounded by monkeys and asuras. On the north gopura facing south is the lodge of the monkeys under the command of Rama, mounted on Hanuman and Lakshmana on Angada. On the east gopura facing east, the lintel over the secondary southern entrance, Krishna wrestling with the serpent Kaliya, with its confront showing the churning of the ocean of milk, presided over by Brahma, and about the northern entrance, the apotheosis of Vishnu on Garuda. On the west side, Vishnu Trivikrama astride the world. South entrance, Krishna raising the Mount Govardhana. North entrance, and the aerial attack of Indra by Rakshasas. Middle vestibule. On the west gopura, the conjunction of the sun and the moon east side, and a line of divinities on string mounts west side. On the north gopura, south-facing pediment, a panel of apsaras dancing and musicians, and Shiva and Uma on Nadin. There are some miniature on the outside pilasters of the single central tower depicting the Hindu myths. The Trinity is the Trinity of Supreme Divinity in Hinduism, in which the cosmic functions of creation, preservation, and destruction are personified as a trait of deities. Typically, the designations are that of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. In this scene, you can see the figure of Brahma on the left, Shiva in the middle, and Vishnu on the right, on the lintel of the West Gopura II facing east. On the central sanctuary, the four lintels, almost intact and highly accentuated in relief, the southern of which shows about a head of Kala, Vishnu with four arms overcoming two figures, whom he holds by the hair, a motif which is repeated many times in the temple. On the pilaster of central sanctuary, south-facing, is a fight between the king monkey Wali and the buffalo demon Dandubi. On the pilaster of the central sanctuary that at south falls door, west-facing, is a miniature version of Vishnu reclining and his wife Lakshmi on his Naga Ananta. The miniature of a 10-headed and 20-armed Ravana, the Rakshasa king of Lanka, kidnapping Sita. You can find this scene at the south porch of the central sanctuary facing east. Walk around this sandstone central sanctuary, you see more interesting scenes and figures, including the carvings of their base. Example, the carving of Krishna killing the horse demon, Kesi. There is a miniature of the newborn Dukalat, a bottle against a buffalo demon, Mahesasura, riding a lion and killed him. Enter from the north Gopura II, you can find a scene on the left of pilaster of Krishna fought with a serpent Kaliya. Inside the Gopura, there is a sandstone unique pedestal with a hole in the middle, probably for Shivalinga, for a shrine. In 1936, the French, led by Maurice Gris from 1936 until 1944, began clearance of the site, and restoration works began, starting with the eastern terrace. In 1938, they reconstructed the South Library, and in 1939 carried out reconstruction of the central shrine and its entrance hall, which was completed in 1940. Work then started on the reconstruction of the western Gopura and the first enclosure wall. A jewelry mold and decorated bowl were also found at the site during these works. In 1942, they moved on to restoring the western Gopura of the second enclosure. Between 2015 and 2021, Apsara carried out restoration work on the Naga balustrade of the inner enclosure. In 2019, Apsara began restoration works on the sarcophagus, which has since been completed. The Stone Conservation Unit of the Apsara National Authority has restored the 24-meter-long Naga balustrade at the northeast corner of the first gallery of the Banteay Samre temple. The project lasted for about 6 months, starting in mid-June 2023, and the restoration project was completed on January 9, 2024. Visiting Banteay Samre offers a glimpse into the architectural legacy of the Khmer civilization and gain knowledge from its myths. Come and explore the land of mysteries.